What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tino here, and we're here today for our weekly schedule programming to talk some football on the channel. As we are in the midst of the NFL football and fantasy football season, we are already at week 6. We've already been watching football for a month and a half, and there's a lot of good things going on. So we're here to talk about week 5, recap it, talk about week 6, let you know what the best fantasy football lineup was of last week, let you know what guys you should sit, start, stream, all that good stuff, and just talk everything football. So if you got any questions, you got any comments, you got any concerns, got some football questions, your boy Tino's all ears from here until about 7:30, 8 o'clock, depending on how many people we get in the chat. So let's get to it. Let's not waste any time, and let's get to the chat. Yo, what's up, Jadis? Jadis has been a member for 2 months. Shout out to Jadis. Appreciate you. Member for 1 month, I should say. Yo, what's up, Tino? Football Sunday about to be good. Cowboys, Lions, that game going to be good for what it is because of the lineman wasn't eligible. We'll see. We will have to see. And I will tell you what game we will be going live here for in a little bit after we talk about last week and then we talk about this week. Tell us the score predictions. I got you. I will remember to give you the score predictions. I got the Seahawks, Bears, Packers, Colts, Texans, Buccaneers, Ravens, Chargers, Steelers, Lions, Falcons, Bengals, and Bills. I like it. My upside could the Commanders, Ravens, because I think that should be primetime. That would be a good game, primetime game. I'm not even going to lie to you. Not going to lie. Giants, Bengals. I'm not excited to sit there on primetime and watch the Giants and Bengals as Joe Burrow is going to throw 5 touchdowns. I want to get down to the nitty-gritty, so I want to ask a question. Well, ask your questions. Questions away. Anybody got any questions? Ask them away. Who is the next head coach to get fired? Doug, if he loses in London, or Nick, if he loses to the Browns? I think both of them could be fired. Remember, if you did not see this past week, we had the Jets coach, Robert Saleh, was fired by the New York Jets. So the Jets will now have an interim head coach, and it just did not work out there for them. You've been keeping up with the baseball. Phillies still in it? Yes, I have been. I was actually just talking to my friend Rachel, big Phillies fan. Shout out to you. But yes, we were talking about the Phillies and baseball, and I do still watch baseball, even though my White Sox are still and will ever be known as the worst MLB team in the modern era. You hate to see it. Jadis has unlocked community post on YouTube. Shout out to J-Dog. J-Dog doing his thing. If you guys have not yet, go follow J-Dog on YouTube. Does some good wrestling stuff. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Appreciate you, Daniel. But, guys, that's what we got here for the chat. As I said, continue to leave your comments, your concerns, your questions, and all of that good stuff. And let's get into it. I don't know why it's not. I don't know. Anyway. Yes, sir. And basketball. But let's get into it, and let's talk about last week, because last week, guys, I don't know what it is, but I'm just done making predictions because I suck at making predictions. I went 5-7 last week, and these games were very good. We did have a lot of good games. We saw the Jets and Vikings on Sunday morning in London as the Vikings won 23-17. As I said, I went 5-7 this week. We did not do that great. The Bears defeated the Panthers 36-10 as Caleb Williams threw 2 touchdowns to DJ Moore and had himself a day as the Bears, probably the first time in a long time, the Bears actually blew out an opponent. The Ravens and Bengals put on a one hell of a game, and I know how J-Dog loves for me to give him what my favorite game of the week was. So this had to be it. The Ravens and Bengals, one hell of a game. Joe Burrow put up points. Jamar Chase on the thumbnail, you could see that he put up over 40 points. Lamar Jackson in some leagues put up 40 points. And it was a shootout for both teams, and it was just a fun game to watch. Now, the game we went live for, you guys know, the Texans and the Bills, we were here for. And, the game was, it was what it was. It wasn't like the greatest game of all time. But it wasn't a bad game either. I definitely take it for what it was. But the Texans got the win 23-20. CJ Stroud still is not playing up to what he could be. He's not playing up to what we knew he was doing last year. We did see Nico Collins leave the game after having a long touchdown run, and now he is on the IR, which means he will be out for the upcoming 4 weeks. So that means Tank Dell will get some more work. Dalton Schultz, Stephon Diggs, Cam Akers, maybe Joe Mixon will come back sooner rather than later. Texans, though, they need to make sure they figure things out. Jaguars and Colts, thank goodness the Jaguars got their first win this week, because if they did not, they would have light up the Bears in London, and they very well could. The Jaguars play really good in London, so I don't want to put it past the Jaguars to show up in London and beat the Bears. But they did beat the Colts 37-34, and Joe Flacco put up a good performance. Anthony Richardson, we'll have to see if he plays. It looks like Flacco will continue to start as of now. Jonathan Taylor should return this week. We'll have to keep an eye on that, as I always like to say. It is only Wednesday, Tuesday, sometimes when we do these shows. A lot can change from here on out, so make sure you keep an eye out for it, and make sure that you look at the injury report as the upcoming weeks happen. Speaking of the injury report, we got Devon Achane on the IR, or not the IR, but it looks like he will be out this week, and it looks like he has a concussion. So keep an eye out to see if he does play, if he doesn't play. But I think either way, I think that Raheem Mostert is a really good start this week. And we'll talk about the Dolphins game in a little bit. But Achane being out really helps Mostert's value. The Commanders beat the snot out of the Browns 34-13. Brian Robinson had 2 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels continues to prove that he is that guy. And the Commanders are 4-1 after 5 weeks. The Broncos became 3-2 as they defeated the Raiders 34-18. The Broncos defense played phenomenal. The Raiders just did not know where to go. Now, the biggest upset of the week very well is and could have been, and again, I don't know if people thought could have happened, but it did, as the Arizona Cardinals defeated the 49ers, and they won that game 24-23. The Cardinals did. Kyler Murray, James Conner doing their thing. Marvin Harrison didn't have a great game, but he was out there, and they found a way to win. And sometimes that's all you got to do. Now, we had the Packers and the Rams 34-19. Green Bay Packers won. Green Bay Fudge Packers. Jordan Love did his thing. Rams made the comeback, but the Rams are just not that good this year at all. The Giants, guys. Giants defeated the Seahawks. This might be the biggest surprise of the week, because they did not have their number 1 running back. They did not have their number 1 receiver. The Giants did not. And they still came out in Seattle and won 29-20. Brought the Giants to 2-3. Fell to Seattle to 2-3 or 3-2. The Giants did their thing. Sunday Night Football wasn't the greatest game of all time, but it was a okay game. As the game went on, and it started at, what time was it, J-Dog? Like 9 o'clock, and it didn't end until Monday morning. The Cowboys won 20-17. I fell asleep in the fourth quarter. I couldn't stay up anymore. I was tired, but the Cowboys won 20-17. And now the Steelers have lost 2 in a row. And Russell Wilson could be making his season debut this upcoming week. And then on Monday Night Football, we saw the Chiefs go 5-0. Travis Kelce returned, had 9 receptions of 10 targets, had himself a really good game, and continued to prove why he is that tight end. Then eventually he'll figure it out, and there's no reason to worry about our guy Travis Kelce. The Saints, on the other hand, they will be starting their backup quarterback this upcoming week. Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave. We'll have to see how it goes. But the Saints fall to 2-3, and the Chiefs stay undefeated. And that was week 5 of the NFL. Now, let's go into some waiver wire pickups. Let's talk about the perfect lineup. And then I'm going to give you my predictions, who I think you should sit, start, stream, and all that types of good stuff on the channel. But let's get to the waiver wire pickups first, and let's talk about my top 5 week 6 waiver wire pickups. And I'm giving you 6 guys, and shout out to the First Seed Sports guys, as we are using their picture. So make sure that you go check them out. Players that are available in over 50% of leagues. We're going to start at the bottom. Juju Smith-Schuster. Yes, guys, I cannot believe I'm telling you this, but here we are in a world that you will be going and possibly picking up Juju to help you in fantasy football in 2024. Jordan Whittingham. I would say Jordan Whittingham is a very good pickup, but the problem with him is that it looks like he may be out this upcoming week as he left the game. And I know he wasn't in there for the full game on Sunday. Just keep an eye out for this upcoming week and see what happens with him. But if Whittingham plays, then maybe Whittingham plays for your fantasy football team. But as I'm talking about this, I think that I just remembered the Rams are on a bye this week, which means you will not be able to start Jordan Whittingham. So pick him up on the bye week and see what happens when Cooper Kupp returns. Roschon Johnson, though, coming over for the Bears. He was getting those goal line touchdowns, looking like he was the I don't know why my volume just went up on my phone. But I think that Roschon Johnson kind of reminds me a little bit of a Gus the Boss Edwards. Gets to the 1 or 2 yard line, and then he ends up going and he gets the touchdown. Jalen Tolbert, if you guys did not know the last few games, he has had at least 10-plus receptions in these last 2 games. And now the Cowboys are going to be going this week. You know, the Cowboys have not been playing the greatest as of lately, but I still think Tolbert could be a very good option, especially with teams on buys this upcoming week. Tyrone Tracy, the Giants. Never did I ever think I would be telling you to pick up another Giants running back, but here we are. Tyrone Tracy, if you need a running back, go and get him. He's probably still there. Now, I don't know if he's still there in your lineup or if he's still there in your league right now, but Tank Bigsby is my number 1 waiver wire pickup of the week, and I think Tank Bigsby could be somebody that could help you, and he's getting a lot more receptions. He's getting a lot more carries. He's getting a lot more work than Travis Etienne ever, and it seems like they're kind of using Tank a lot more now, which means more opportunities, more touchdowns, more yards. So make sure you go pick up Tank Bigsby and put him in your lineup this week because as much as I love my Chicago Bears and as much as they've been doing very good, they have not been very good at stopping the run this year, and other teams have had field days on them, such as Chuba Hubbard last week. So make sure you go and get Tank Bigsby. And if you have an itch and you need a running back to fill, go and put him in your lineup. Let's talk about the perfect lineup from last week real quick, as it was the Giants defense. Yeah, that's what we thought. Darnell Mooney on the Atlanta Falcons, Tucker Craft, Drake London, Jamar Chase, DeAndre Swift, our guy Tank Bigsby, as I just mentioned, and Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, welcome back to the NFL. I mean, hey now. If those guys are back, we're in for a rude awakening. But now, let's get into and let's talk about week 6, and let's talk about this upcoming week. And let's talk about the 4 teams that are on a bye week first. And let's talk about the guys you will not be able to start or stream, or any guys that you will not be able to have anything type of to do with this week. Let's start off with the Minnesota Vikings. You will be missing guys such as Justin Jefferson, Sam Darnold, Aaron Jones, Jordan Addison, etc. The Dolphins, Raheem Mostert. You can't even play Raheem Mostert this week, even if you wanted to. And Devon Achane is out, so it doesn't even matter. The Dolphins defense, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. I don't know how much you're starting Jalen Waddle right now, but he's still somebody that you have on your team. The Rams, Kyren Williams, Cooper Kupp, Tutu Atwell, depending on what type of leagues you're in. We could have Demarcus Robinson, Kyren Williams. I know I made it say him twice. Matthew Stafford, maybe for 2 quarterback leagues. And lastly, but finally, the Kansas City Chiefs. You will not have Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Kareem Hunt, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Juju Smith-Schuster, and any of those guys on the Kansas City Chiefs. 4 teams. It's a big week for bye weeks, which means you'll be starting guys like Tolberts and other guys in your lineups. Let's talk about those guys. And let's start off with the Thursday night football game. And we got the 49ers and we got the Seahawks. I think that, it's going to be kind of worrisome for me, at least, to start Kenneth Walker. But I do believe that you're going to have to start Kenneth Walker, and there's really no other option for you that you can really do anything else, because sometimes you just got to start your guys. Now, if you got some depth, then, hey, now, go for it. Sit him this week. Now for the 49ers, well, obviously I have to keep an eye out on George Kittle, see if he's practicing this upcoming week, see if he'll play. Yes, he played last week, but I know the injury has kind of been bothering him a little bit, which means it's Thursday. Tomorrow it is the game. We'll just have to keep an eye out for it and see what happens. Now the final score of this game, let's say 27-24, and let's say Seattle loses by a field goal. Now we have the Bears and the Jaguars in London. Let's take the Jaguars to win 31-24. Jaguars always play good in London, and I don't know. We got the Arizona Cardinals and those Green Bay Fudge Packers. Let's take the Packers to win 28-10. I don't know why. I just feel like the Packers defense may play good. We got the Buccaneers and we got the Saints. I think this might be a shootout. Let's say 35-38. And the Saints win with a backup. No. Let's say Baker Mayfield wins. No, I'm going to take Baker. Baker and the Bucs. That they're going to win. Colts and the Titans. Let's be bold. And let's say the Titans win. Let's say it's like 21-14 Titans. We got Steelers and Raiders. Let's take the Steelers to win 28-13. We have the Lions and the Cowboys. I think this is going to be another good shootout. 35-31. Let's say the Lions win. Monday Night Football. It is the Bills and the Jets. Let's take the Bills to win 34-21. The Bills show up, show out, and do their thing. Sunday Night Football. We got the Giants and we got the Bengals. Let's say the Bengals win 27-20. We got the Falcons and the Panthers. The Falcons have come back to earth. I would not start anybody on the Falcons, or not on the Falcons. I would not start anybody on the Panthers besides maybe Deontay Johnson. But even then, I don't know if I really want to do that. Now for the Falcons, though. I think you could start a lot of Falcons, and I think you could also start the Falcons defense, as we've seen what the Panthers can do and what they can't do. And the Bears showed what they can't do last week. And if I'm the Falcons, I'm watching a lot of that tape, and I'm seeing what is the best option to be able to get the win against the Panthers. We got a divisional rivalry as it's Bo Nix taking on Justin Herbert. The Chargers and Broncos, remember when it was Peyton Manning and Phillip Rivers, or Jay Cutler and Phillip Rivers? Oh, man, those rivalries were all so sweet. But now we got Justin Herbert. Now we got Bo Nix. And this is a game I'm not looking forward to as very much. But what I do believe is that that we're going to see an okay game. I think the Broncos defense is going to play really well. And I think the Broncos are going to win this 21-13. Broncos win. Eagles and Browns. Let's take the Eagles to win 34-10. Browns can't do anything right. The Browns suck. Browns will never have anything good in life, sadly. Eagles are getting healthier. Eagles are coming off of their bye. And you know they're ready to feast on these Browns. We got the Patriots and Texans. Let's take the Texans to win 28-24. And CJ Stroud throws 3 touchdowns. And now it is time for the game and the last game. And it will be actually the game we will be going live for. It is the Commanders. It is the Baltimore Ravens, everybody. It's Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, taking on Scary Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels. Sunday, come and hang out as we watch this game go live. We watch 2 great offenses, 2 good defenses, maybe, okay, 1 good defense and 1 building defense, I guess. But let's say the Ravens come out on top 34-31. Jaden Daniels puts up a fight. He has a couple rushing touchdowns, but Lamar has 4 total touchdowns, has a couple 100 yards, and Jaden Daniels just misses 1 throw that could have changed everything. Jaden Daniels going to put on a show in a clinic on Sunday against the Ravens. But let's take the Ravens to win this game, which means, guys, that is week number 6 or week number 5. That's week number 5. Week number 6 of the NFL football season. Now, some other guys I did want to talk about, just in case if you did want to and you need to keep an eye out them, and some guys that maybe you were just maybe not thinking about. But in the Giants game, Darius Slayton, guys, he scored over 20-plus points last week. So he is somebody that I could definitely keep an eye out. As I mentioned, Tolbert for the Cowboys, wide receiver, getting at least 10 receptions the last 2 games. We have Michael Pittman is having back problems, so make sure you keep an eye on that, which means Alec Pierce and Josh Downs would be great opportunities and have great abilities to do their things. As I mentioned, the Bears are a very good defense, but their run game has not been the best, which means that if you have Tank Bigsby or maybe even Travis Etienne, I would consider putting them in your lineups. Now, for the Texans, as I said earlier, Nico Collins will be on the IR for the next upcoming 4 weeks, which means that just boosts Dalton Schultz, Tank Dell, and Stephon Diggs. So make sure you get all of them in your lineup. And I think that is all that I really have for these games. Really not too much guys and people that I would really else think about. Maybe if you wanted to be a little wild and you wanted to maybe start a I don't even want to say it, but I saw something on the Fantasy Football Show where they said to start Will Levis. And I don't know if I'm trying to be that bold. So I'm not telling you to start Will Levis because that's a little crazy. Somebody to keep an eye out for, though, as I'm looking at the Colts, is Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is somebody you will have to keep an eye out for, see what happens, and see if he is able to play this week. If you have any more questions about this upcoming week, make sure that you let me know. But let's get to the chat. Let's see what you guys are all saying. And then we're going to say goodbye here today. And then we'll be back here tomorrow as it's story time with Tino's Tom. As I tell you the story and we talk about the time that I met the Hardy Boys. A couple years ago, Tino, Chumblebee, and the Golden Sponge took a trip over where we lived at the time. And we met the Hardy Boys. We also met the Ascension. And we also met a crazy fangirl that got really excited when Jeff Hardy touched her arm. So get excited to hear that story in full. And even look at the video that Chumblebee took for me on the vlog. Now let's get back to the yeah, I know I suck. 5-7. Yeah, listen. I did not expect this. That is true. I did not expect this. Also, somebody else to mention on the Jaguars, Brian Thomas Jr. doing his thing. That was a 40 burger. Does he have a sophomore slump? CJ Stroud, I mean, he very well might. He very, very well might. And it's kind of sad because CJ Stroud was looking like he was going to be one of the greatest of all time at the time last year. You know what, though? It is what it is. Stuff happens. That game was good, but there was no need for the rain delay. Man, let's not talk about the rain delay the rain delay. That was shenanigans. The Broncos lit up the Ravens. Yes, they did. Eagles lost the bye week. Yes, they did. But now they're back to beat up on the Browns. 9-46. Russell Wilson had a full participation in practice. That means Russell could be back sooner rather than later. Talk about one tight end that hasn't showed up yet this season, and his name is Mark freaking Andrews. You want to talk about what really grinds my gears? Is Mark freaking Andrews is averaging 3 fantasy points a game, and Lamar Jackson forgot that he has him on his football team. I know Isaiah Likely is that new shiny present and that new shiny toy, but can we be real here? Can we please get some Mark Andrews ball, please? Dexter Lawrence is 6 sacks so far. He is a beast. Good evening, Michelle. Good evening. I appreciate you stopping by. I know you guys are, I know it's a little later, so I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. Seahawks, Ravens, Texans, Eagles, Chargers, Falcons, Bengals, Bears, Packers, Buccaneers, Colts, Steelers, Lions, and Bills. If anybody else wants to let me know their picks, please. I'd love to hear them in the chat. They really do. Honestly, I'm starting to feel like that's just a thing. And I'm starting to feel, whoa, what the heck? Oh, it's because my TV is green. Oops. Let's try to. There we go. But they do. They really do love putting them on primetime. No injuries on Monday because every time I think about Monday night, the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, yes, I know. Let's not forget that. We'll never forget that. Eagles or Browns? Eagles all day. My upset of the week, probably the Commanders. Yes, that could be a very good upset. And I think a lot of people are not giving the Commanders enough of a chance when I think they should be given a chance because I think that they are a very good team, but they just still are young, which means that the coach and the Harbaugh Harbaugh. I think the Ravens will be able to figure it out. But if there is a game, it could be the Commanders. You doing your record? You doing your record? Record what? Huh? I don't know if Jalen Tolbert. No, Jalen Tolbert is out. Is in the game. Jerry Jones, Jalen Tolbert sprained. Jadis. J-Dog. That's not PG. But let's see if the Mets won. Yes, they did. The Mets are going to the NLCS. Congratulations to the New York Mets. So who did they knock out? I completely forgot. So they knocked out the Phillies. Damn. I was hoping for my girl Rachel, the Phillies would win. We'll have to see, though. And we'll have to see now who the Mets go and face. They will either face the Padres or the Dodgers. If we get the Padres and like the Guardians in the World Series, I'm gonna cry. What are my thoughts on? So I do not believe that he should be the quarterback. I think that they should stop him being the quarterback, and I think they need to find a new quarterback because just Deshaun Watson ain't it for the Browns. He ain't it for any team. And Deshaun Watson is just ruining the Browns at this point. It's sad. And it really sucks for the Browns. So I think the Browns need to just get rid of him. And I think that's a great way to end the show. Get rid of Deshaun Watson and put Jameis Winston to start. Because I think Jameis Winston can do a way better job than whatever the hell Deshaun Watson is doing. I mean, listen, it's on him. Then make a change. You need to do something. It can't work that way. If the results aren't there, something has to change. And hopefully it does sooner rather than later. But guys, that is another week of the fantasy football and football show here on the channel. I hope you guys like the football shows. As remember, guys, as I said, this will be the last year we'll be doing the fantasy football on the channel. So we're going to go out with a bang. And we're going to try to make sure that we end our football channel series and our fantasy football stuff with the dub and everything else. We still got 12 more weeks, though, of football till the playoffs. We'll be here for the playoffs, regular season, all the way through. We'll be live again this week, as I said earlier, for the Commanders and the Ravens. If you have not yet, make sure you go and subscribe. You hit that notification button. You turn that button on, that bell on, so you know when we go live next. Guys, Ravens, Commanders on Sunday. Tomorrow, as I said, we'll be here live for I'm sorry. It is story time with Tino's Tom, as we will be here, and I'll be telling you the full story on how I met the Hardy Boys a few years ago in Chicago. We're going to take a look at the vlog. I'm going to tell you what I got. I'm going to show you a couple things. We're going to have a good chat, and we're going to reminisce and talk about Matt and Jeff. And what an experience I will never forget. But guys, until then, as I said earlier, go follow all the social medias. Go and hit that like button. Become a member. Go get your merchandise at bonfire.com/Tino's Tom. Go check out the Southside Boys. You don't got to like the White Sox and you don't have to root for them. But hey, support the Southside Boys. Southside Boys got some big news coming after the World Series. But guys, appreciate you all stopping by. Make sure you go hit all those like buttons. Go hit all that good stuff. Tonight's MVP is our guy, J-Dog, for being a member for a month and being here asking some good questions. Guys, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night, and I'll see you tomorrow afternoon, for the first ever episode of Story Time with Tino's Tom, as we talk about the time I met Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys. Deuces.